Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
The world of Coraline continues to fascinate audiences because it stands as one of those rare stories that blend childhood curiosity with haunting mystery, creating an atmosphere that feels whimsical and unsettling at the same time. The movie carries a charm that is instantly recognizable, built on the contrast between imagination and fear, comfort and danger, innocence and deception. What makes it so memorable is not only its stop-motion artistry but the emotional weight behind it, where every shadow, every hallway, and every whispered moment feels alive with intention. Fans have always discussed the layers hidden beneath the story, the symbolism behind its characters, and the strange sense of wonder that lingers long after the movie ends. Coraline's journey into another world is more than a fantasy, it's a reflection of the desire for attention, belonging, and escape. Something that resonates deeply across ages. The story follows Coraline, a young girl who moves into a new house that feels cold, quiet, and filled with corners that seem to hold secrets. Her parents are busy, caught up in their work and responsibilities, leaving Coraline to explore the silence that surrounds her. This loneliness becomes the seed of the adventure, the spark that makes her curious enough to search every nook and cranny. The mysterious little door she discovers tucked away inside the wall becomes the gateway to everything that follows. It opens first into a lifeless brick barrier, offering nothing more than a disappointing end. But as the night falls and her imagination begins to stir, the passage reveals itself to be something else entirely, something alive, glowing and beckoning her toward a world that feels like a dream crafted just for her. When Coraline steps into this other world, she finds a version of her life that is almost exactly the way she wishes it could be. There is warmth instead of neglect, excitement instead of boredom, and attention instead of frustration. Her other mother and other father greet her with smiles that seem perfect, meals that smell delicious, and voices filled with warmth. Everything feels slightly better, slightly brighter, slightly more magical. The garden blooms with life, the house feels enchanted, and even her neighbors appear as idealized versions of themselves. This other world becomes the embodiment of Coraline's desires, and the more she visits, the more she begins to question which reality is truly hers. But beneath this beauty lies a tension, a feeling that something is not entirely right, as though every perfect detail hides a darker truth longing to reveal itself. The other mother becomes the figure that embodies this imbalance. At first, she appears caring, affectionate, and attentive, giving Coraline everything she feels she lacks in her real home. But the illusion begins to crack as Coraline notices how her other mother watches her, how her smile seems stretched too wide, and how the comfort she provides feels too flawless to be real. The buttons for eyes become the symbol of that eerie perfection, presenting a world where everything is controlled, crafted, and stitched together with the intention of possessing rather than loving. The transition from kindness to danger is slow, creeping in through subtle shifts that slowly pull Coraline into the realization that she is not being cared for, she is being claimed. As Coraline resists the seductive perfection of the other world, the true nature of her other mother becomes clear. She is not a figure of love, but a force of hunger, a being who craves the souls of curious children and traps them in her world forever. Her true form begins to reveal itself, twisted and desperate, contrasting sharply with the warmth she once pretended to offer. The once vibrant world begins to rot, showing cracks in the walls, fading colors, and a suffocating lifelessness that exposes the truth. Coraline's discovery of the ghost children becomes one of the story's emotional turning points, revealing the fate that awaits those who accept the other mother's offer. Their whispered voices, filled with sorrow and longing, become both a warning and a plea for help. Coraline's courage becomes the driving force behind the tale. Instead of falling into fear or surrendering to the tempting illusion, she faces the darkness head-on, relying on her intelligence, bravery, and resilience. Her journey evolves from curiosity to survival, and finally to responsibility as she tries to save not only herself, but the souls trapped before her. The challenges she faces in the other world mirror the courage she must find within herself, symbolizing the struggle of growing up, trusting her instincts, and learning to value what she has rather than longing for what she lacks. The story transforms from a simple adventure into a reminder that bravery often comes from embracing reality. Imperfections and all. The presence of the black cat adds an intriguing layer to the journey. Acting as both guide and observer, the cat moves freely between both worlds, offering clues and warnings without ever fully revealing its own motives. Its riddles, hints, and subtle actions help Coraline navigate the twisted labyrinth of the other world. The cat becomes the embodiment of independence, wisdom, and the unspoken truth that not everything or everyone exists to comfort you. Some exist to challenge you into finding your own strength. The bond between Coraline and the cat grows not through affection, but through mutual understanding, creating a partnership built on necessity and trust. As Coraline realizes that the other mother will never willingly let her leave, the story transitions into an intense battle of wits, courage, and determination. The once comforting world becomes a nightmare filled with monstrous transformations, collapsing structures, and illusions designed to trap her until she submits. Coraline must confront the other mother directly, navigating her spider-like lair, and unraveling the twisted threads of the world she once found enchanting. Every room that once amazed her now becomes a test of her will, and every challenge forces her to confront the consequences of the choices she makes. The tension builds as Coraline races against time to escape before the other mother reshapes the world around her into an inescapable prison. The emotional conclusion reaches. Beyond the eerie visuals and unsettling atmosphere, Coraline returns home with a newfound appreciation for the imperfections of her real life. The quiet house, the busy parents, and the ordinary world that once felt dull now carry a sense of meaning and comfort. This transformation becomes one of the movie's most profound messages, that reality, though flawed, holds genuine love and connection, whereas fantasies often hide dangers beneath their polished surfaces. Coraline's relationship with her parents evolves subtly, showing that even small gestures and simple moments can carry enormous emotional weight when appreciated through fresh eyes. The film's atmosphere continues to be a topic of fascination because of how it balances dread with beauty. Every movement, every piece of the set, and every flicker of light feels handcrafted with purpose, creating a world where imagination becomes both enchanting and dangerous. The stop-motion technique adds a tactile realism to the story, making the world of Coraline feel alive in a way that digital animation rarely achieves. The details of the house, the expressions of the characters, and the shifting shapes of the other world contribute to the unforgettable experience that the movie delivers. It is this craftsmanship that keeps the movie relevant, beloved, and endlessly analyzed by fans. The legacy of Coraline grows because the story speaks to universal emotions, the desire to escape reality, the longing for attention, and the bravery needed to face fear. Each rewatch reveals something new, whether it is a hidden detail in the background, a subtle hint of foreshadowing, or an emotional layer that becomes clearer with age. Coraline remains a movie that evolves with its audience, offering fear for the young, symbolism for the older, and artistry for everyone who appreciates the dedication behind it. The blend of fantasy and psychological depth makes it a timeless experience that continues to inspire discussions, theories, and interpretations. What makes the story so powerful is its ability to remind viewers that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face it. Coraline teaches that bravery does not always look like heroism. Sometimes it looks like choosing reality over fantasy, imperfection over illusion, truth over deception. The movie encourages viewers to value the relationships in their lives, to appreciate the moments that seem ordinary but hold genuine love, and to trust the instincts that warn them when something feels too perfect to be real. It is a tale that blends darkness and hope, creating a balance that resonates long after the story ends. In the end, Coraline becomes more than a movie, it becomes a journey. A journey through imagination, fear, courage, and self-reflection. A journey that invites viewers to question the worlds they long for and cherish the worlds they live in. A journey that blends artistry with emotion in a way that captures the heart and mind. And as the story continues to be discussed, revisited, and celebrated, its place as a modern classic only grows stronger with time.